I am here today to do a tattoo video. I have filmed this multiple times in the span of like the past like 2 years maybe. I think I filmed one last year too after I got my third one, but I just like, it's always way too long-winded. The video quality is usually bad and all kinds of stuff, and I've never finished editing and uploading any of those original videos. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna tell you about my 3 tattoos that I have, and I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible so I'm not just rambling. I will insert videos and or photos for anything that I cannot show like in real time right here. So let's get into the video. So my first tattoo is actually right here. I will insert a picture of like a better quality version of it. I got this in like February. I don't even remember when I got it. I feel like I should remember. I got it like my freshman year of college. It was second semester my freshman year. Basically, I went home for winter break after first semester of my freshman year of college. I was in Florida visiting my mom's side of the family. Like all my mom's family lives in Florida. So we were staying where we always stay, which is just my mom's mom and my mom's stepdad. He's been like in her life basically all of her life since she was like a teenager, I believe. So he's really just like our grandpa, but technically he is her stepdad, and I say that because it'll make sense later in the video. So we were staying with them. We always stay at their house in Florida. While we were there, he was like kind of sick-ish or whatever, but we actually ended up having to cut our Florida trip short. We were there for like Christmas/New Year's. We had to cut our trip short to drive back to Virginia because one of our close family friends passed away. She used to babysit me and my siblings when we were younger. She was just like part of my dad's church and all that stuff. So we actually left Florida early, cut our trip short to come to Virginia for that funeral of the family friend. While we were at the funeral, my mom actually like got like a phone call or a text from my grandma in Florida saying that like my grandpa / my mom's stepdad had like his sickness had like declined. He had been in the hospital and all this stuff, and I think he actually died that the details are blurry because it's a very like traumatic time for me, and there's like a lot of back-to-back stuff going on during this time. But basically he was in the hospital, he was declining, and then I'm pretty sure he died, and then we went back from Virginia to Florida for his funeral within like a matter of days. So we were in Florida for his funeral. When we were in Florida for his funeral, like the wake and the days leading up to the funeral, then the actual funeral. My mom has a huge family, by the way, so it was a lot of people there as far as like cousins and aunts and stuff like that. While we were there in Florida for his funeral, this was like early January, like very early January, like maybe like a few days after New Year's, if that, I think. Then while we were in Florida for his funeral, my dad's dad in Virginia, he lives in the same city as us. We lived like really close to his house. We lived really close to him, so like he was literally in the same city as us. We saw him all the time, way more often than we saw our family in Florida, just because we lived in the same city. While we were down there, my dad's dad in Virginia went to the hospital totally unexpectedly. My grandpa, my paternal grandpa, like he never had any health issues really. Like he had diabetes, but like it wasn't like really a big deal. But yeah, he never had any health issues. He was never, the whole time I've ever been alive, my dad said the whole time he's ever been alive, my grandpa like was never admitted to the hospital for anything, and he just like all of a sudden just needed to go into the hospital. So we were like, what the heck, keep us posted, that's so weird, he never gets sick, whatever. And this was actually really crucial to me because the summer before I went to college, my grandpa, like he had to start going to more, he was like just getting older, so he had to start going to like more doctor's appointments like more frequently and stuff like that. So like a few days out of the week during the summer, I had my license and I was ready to go to college. I would drive him to a lot of his doctor's appointments, and I would just like spend a lot of time with him. I would drive his truck. So me and my grandpa actually got to spend a lot of time together that summer prior to this happening, which I'm really happy for. But anyway, he got sick while we were at the funeral in Florida. So after the funeral in Florida, we came back to Virginia. I was still on break from college. My grandpa was in the hospital for a few days. I went and saw him like 2 times in the hospital, but he couldn't really like talk. Like he knew who I was and like whatever, but like there wasn't really like much to do or like much to like talk about or say. So I think last time I saw him, I was in the hospital and I was there for like maybe like 10 minutes. I just drove over there just because like I was home for the summer. I had the car. I didn't have anything else to do. I went to the hospital to see my grandpa, say, hey, what's up? He kind of talked, but not really. And then that was it. And then I pieced out. And then he died. So that was the third person that died. 2 grandpas in less than 2 weeks. I think they were almost like exactly 2 weeks apart from each other. So he died. So we went to his funeral. And then I went back to college for the second semester to start like mid to late January. So that was literally my entire winter break, was going back and forth from Virginia to Florida, and also just going to funeral after funeral after funeral. So I came back to his school. My second semester was like just really rough for a lot of reasons, like academic wise. It just like wasn't really there. I had a terrible roommate my freshman year, whatever. So I ended up getting the tattoo that I showed you on my torso. I'll insert a picture if I haven't already, and then I'll also insert a video clip of me actually getting it in a second. But I got it, and it's basically it's like a little like heartbeat monitor thing. And it has LB in lowercase letters in cursive, so it's LB, and that's my grandpa's initials is LB. It's actually also my dad's initials because he's a junior. That's neither here nor there. And then it's also LB because my paternal grandmother, who actually died before my grandpa, my dad's mom, she used to call me a nickname, and the nickname started with LB. That's just personal to me, but like LB. And then it goes into more of the heartbeat monitor, and then it like drops down to the border of Florida, which, because Florida is where my other grandpa was. So that's important to me. Also, for those of you who don't know, I was born in Florida, Tampa, Florida to be exact. And like half of my mom's entire family, well, all of my mom's family is in Florida. Some of them are in Texas and Georgia, but like 90% of my mom's family is in Florida. So it's just kind of like representing my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family in one tattoo together. And then also kind of commemorating with my grandpas that passed away 2 weeks apart from each other. And then fast forward to after I got the tattoo, I think like September of that same year. So this was 2014, September of 2014, my mom's biological dad, who also lived in Florida, passed away. So I actually lost all 3 of my grandpas all within a year of each other, less than a year of each other. And the 2 big ones were 2 weeks away from each other. So that is my first tattoo, and here's a little clip. There's no audio for some reason. My friend recorded it on her iPod back in 2014, and I couldn't get the audio for whatever reason. But here's a video of me getting the tattoo that day. I can't remember the exact day, but I'll put it on the screen if I remember when the date was. Okay, tattoo number 2 was many years later. So I have a best friend. We've been best friends since 3rd grade. We have a lot of stuff in common. We went through a lot of stuff with our parents together. That's not my business to tell, but yeah. So we have been best friends forever. I was visiting her back in Harrisonburg in 2018. Was it 2018? Was it 2018? Yeah, 2018. January 2018, I just like went to go visit her, just to visit her, you know, nothing crazy. We had been talking about getting tattoos together before, like partially joking, partially serious. And we were like, what would we get? We actually had the idea of like a much bigger, larger tattoo that would take like some planning out and wouldn't be able to be spontaneous. We ended up not getting it for like whatever reason. We just like were in the same seat at the same time and whatever. So we were out getting drinks and food, and we were like literally sitting at the bar drinking, and then we started talking about tattoos for whatever reason. And she was like, I would just get a tattoo right now. She already had tattoos prior. By this time, I think she probably already had like 2 tattoos or maybe even 3 tattoos by this point. And I had already had my first tattoo. And she was like, I'll just get a tattoo right now. And I was like, me too, I will. If we were like, let's do it. So we were like, what will we even get? And we were immediately like, obviously a watermelon. Watermelon just kind of like our thing. It's nothing, we don't even really know how, we know how it started, but not really how it started. It's just this long ongoing joke with us. So we were like, let's see who's open. It was already like maybe like 10 p.m. at night. So we were really cutting it close to like tattoo shops still being open. So we're like, let's just call and see who's open. I don't advise doing that because you don't know like who you're gonna get as far as like expertise or quality wise, but like we knew we weren't getting anything like super detailed. We're getting like a long sitting tattoo. We're getting that required like a lot of shading or detail or expertise. We knew we were getting something like really like spontaneous and like very like cartoonish. So that's why we didn't mind. But like in general, I do not recommend just like calling around or just like popping in and walking in somewhere and getting a tattoo, because like you want to know the person that you're picking as someone that's an expert in whatever the style is and yada 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 whatever. And we like want a tattoo. The guy was like, okay, do you want like a little tattoo triangle slice, or do you want to get a tattoo like little half? And we're like, well, there's two of us, so we should obviously like get like a half. So she got a half tattoo, I got a half tattoo. Mine is actually right here. I regret getting it there. She got hers like on her arm, and I was gonna get it in the same place so it'd be like very visible to see. But at the time I was working at a job. I was still working at the same job actually. But I was working at a job and I was like, well, I don't want to be able to like not wear short sleeve shirts or whatever. Like I want to be able to like not have to have people constantly asking me like, what the heck is that watermelon doing on your arm? I wanted it to be like more discreet, but now that I actually have a tattoo on my arm anyway, that's stupid. Like I should have just gotten it there anyway. So I regret that. We went in, we got our tattoos. She went to one guy in another room, I went to a guy in another room. They did it, it was cool. It has color on it. I'll insert a picture. It was cool. It wasn't very long, whatever. And it has like little, I think it has like 8 watermelon seeds in it. We didn't ask for that. He just like, the guy that sketched up the drawing, it's the same exact drawing for both of us, so it's like the exact same stencil, everything's exactly the same. The guy just like started drawing seeds. He didn't like ask us like how many seeds, because like that's like, who thinks that deeply? And he was like, after we got it on us, we were like, oh shit, it has like 8 seeds. What if someone asks us why 8? So we were like, we have to come up with an excuse of why we got 8 seeds. But it turned out it actually works out, because we actually met each other in 3rd grade when we were 8 years old. So the math works out, and now if anyone ever asks us and puts us on the spot, we can say because we met when we were 8. So it's perfect. My last and final tattoo so far is this one right here. It's my favorite. I got this from Francis Koo. So he is a local artist who's like super popular. I think he has like 40,000 40,000 followers on Instagram. He recently deactivated his Instagram just for like his own personal like social media break, mental health purposes. But he's so awesome. I actually first went and saw him. He was having like just like a local event, like it's like a thank you for the community for supporting his business. It's like a kind of like a block party type thing, just like saying thank you. I went to that event because I'd already been following him on Instagram for a few months. I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna go support. He was also like raffling off tickets to get free tattoos, so I bought a few raffle tickets to get a free tattoo. I didn't win. I did buy 2 prints of his like drawings, and then a few months later he had openings. He basically goes on Instagram and says like, hey, I'm opening my books for this day, or like this like window of the month or something. And so like you have to email him, and then he like, him and his like assistant goes through the emails, see if it's a style that he is able to do and interested in doing, and then they email you back and say yes or no if they're gonna be able to book your tattoo with him. So they actually emailed me back and said, yes, we want to do your tattoo. And I text Jacqueline immediately, my best friend, because she had actually been following Francis before I was. And I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like, Francis is about to tattoo me. Like, I actually had a totally different tattoo idea in mind originally, but we ended up going with this one, and I love it. So it is, I'll insert a picture, obviously, but it is a pin, like a fountain pin, the fountain tip up here. And then there's just flowers on both sides, and it's like tied at the bottom with like a little bouquet. I love it so much, and it's just like my commitment to writing and like, you know, like the pen being the sword word and blah blah blah. It didn't take that long. It didn't hurt really. My boyfriend actually went with me to get the tattoo. That was his first experience being like in a tattoo shop and like watching someone get a tattoo. So like that was kind of cool to kind of share that with him. He doesn't have any tattoos. And then Francis was like super cool, just super casual conversation, super nice, super funny, super like welcoming, whatever. The experience was amazing. I would love to get tattooed by him again in the future. So those are my 3 tattoos. I didn't go super in depth because I've recorded this video so many times and it always ends up being so long. In short, my first tattoo did not hurt at all. I was actually surprised at how much it didn't hurt because it is pretty close to my ribs. My second tattoo hurt a little bit because it is like right here on my little like side rib bone, I guess. It hurt, but like it was such a small tattoo. I mean, the shading took the longest time, the pink and green ink, but even that wasn't terrible. It was never anything where I was like, oh my god, this is unbearable. This obviously took the longest amount of time, and it took the most detail as far as like inner lining and stuff like that. But it didn't ever really hurt. If anything, I was just uncomfortable laying in the position I had to lay in for this one, but that's about it. And the conversation like really made it go by faster. I actually ended up going out and like getting ramen that day after this. My boyfriend, we actually ended up going to a concert that night. So I had to like go to the concert with the saran wrap on my arm, and I had like a windbreaker jacket over top of the saran wrap, so that no one would like bump into me or like sweat one area like that. So that's real crazy. But none of them hurt. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so that's probably why. But those are my tattoo stories so far. I hope to have another tattoo sometime next year. So stay tuned for that, and I will update you guys. Thanks for watching.